refuse to believe that this is going to be a compromise that I'm ever going to have to make in my relationship. This don't work for me. I could be depressed. I could have lost my job. I could be going through something major, because those are major things. And after a week of me still being depressed by this major thing in my life, my partner looks at me and thinks, damn, it's been a minute since I got my dick wet. Not, damn, my baby's been going through it. It's been a whole week and she's still been down. I want to be with somebody who sees me have a long week of distress and thinks, I want to buy her flowers. I want to see her smile. I want somebody who, before they ask me to pretend to be in the mood, they try to do everything in their power to put me in a mood that want to give it to them. Someone who understands that loving me will make me want to love on them. I can't subscribe to this. I want to be loved, not tolerated.
Oh, y'all don't understand what rejecting your husband from sex does to a man. Okay, so I feel the need to make a clarification. I am not talking about somebody actively withholding sex from their partner as a means of control or punishment. What I am talking about is a man's sexual satisfaction being prioritized over someone's womanhood and bodily autonomy. What I am talking about is a woman genuinely not wanting to have sex with her man because she's dealing with some sort of issue that probably may be her man, and people feeling like that she should still have sex with her husband because that is far more detrimental to his health or his mental space of being and how he feels than whatever she's experiencing that makes her not want to have sex in the first place. That is what I'm talking about. I also think it's weird that we are not teaching men how to express themselves beyond sex. It's weird to think that your wife not wanting to have sex with you isn't also harmful to her. That was my point.
Listen, guys. If your spouse is denying you sex on a regular basis, there are some things that you have to take into consideration. There's menopause, there is midlife crisis, there are so many different illnesses and issues, and now we have hormone imbalances and things of that nature that we are picking up because of the diet that America eats. So we have to be very mindful of that, those things that we consume that can destroy our sex drives. Now, at the same time, I need y'all to be proactive. Before you even get in a relationship, there are things that need to be discussed. And not just sex, not just do you want to have kids, or if you already have kids, how we going to raise these kids, this, that, and the other. But it's certain things that need to be addressed. And that is one of them. How often are you looking to have sex? Because when I tell y'all, so many people, besides money being a big issue, people don't realize, and I'm not trying to promote sex by no means, but we live in we're humans. Let's start there. We're humans. The Most High blessed us as married couples with sex. Sex is a healing tool for married couples because it brings you closer together, and it relaxes you, and it does a lot. Sex has a lot of benefits. I implore you to look it up on Google. You'd be shocked at what you learn. Okay, but I digress. So the Bible says do not withhold sex from your partner unless y'all are fasting from sex together, and then y'all must come back, because if you don't, the enemy can get in and start messing with your heads, and then y'all be done cheated on each other, stuff like that. But the Bible even says do not withhold sex from your spouse. Now, cycles, we understand that, whatever the case, we're human, we have stuff going on, headaches, whatever the case. But if your spouse is denying you sex on a regular basis, and y'all have not discussed doing so, it's time to reach out to the Most High. And I'm going to tell y'all, you got to have some patience, because that's what the Most High asks us to do in all situations, to have patience, especially if you're married. When you're supposed to talk to the Most High about everything. Even if you having sex, the Most High know you having sex outside of marriage. So, you still need to talk to him about it. Excuse me, y'all. I'm in the zone. But anyway, so I digress. Holy Spirit, help me, because I'm going in another direction, and I want to stay where you want me to be on this video. Don't withhold. The Most High said, the bag is, don't withhold sex from your partner. Somebody must be withholding. Y'all better give it up before your partner go cheat. That's what he's telling me. Stop withholding sex from your partner. I don't know who this is for. I know it's for somebody because he placed it on my spirit and I ain't thinking about it. So stop withholding, because if you keep withholding, what's going to happen is they going to cheat on you. And then you can't get mad because they're cheating on you, okay? So give it up. I think I'm gonna look and see if I can find a scripture that says that you can't withhold sex from your partner. I know people want to argue about it, but at the end of the day, you know you married. You know y'all went in the covenant together. So give it up. Peace and blessings.
Go watch the original video that I'm stitching, and also like the clip that's attached to it. This creator is so right. You should never like have to compromise your own mental health for your husband or your boyfriend or whatever getting his dick wet. And I feel like so many of us have been in this situation before, where you're like, oh shit, well, you know, I'm going through it, but what I don't want is for him to leave me on top of everything else, so I guess I'll just like suffer through it. And I feel like a lot of times men think that they're being like punished for something that's going on in our lives, or punished for something that they're doing, when it's like, if you just made an effort, it wouldn't be a topic of conversation. Women aren't punishing you for them having a bad day. But if you were to make a solid effort to make your girlfriend or your wife or whoever feel better, then maybe she would just want to have sex with you, and you wouldn't feel this, you know, betrayal, quote unquote. And it kind of reminds me of this video that I commented on by the Dadvocate a few months ago, I think. I'm still getting notifications on it, where she was talking about dead bedrooms. And I like agree with a good amount of her stuff, but some of it is like a little bit heavier. But anyway, she talks about like posting relationship drama on TikTok. And somebody had commented on the post about dead bedrooms about how like women shouldn't use sex as a bargaining chip to get their husbands to like do the dishes or do chores or do the laundry or whatever. And it's like, that is so not the point. For most of us, we're not saying like, oh, I have this thing that he wants, and if I hold it over him, he'll do whatever I want. No, it's, I'm not physically attracted to somebody that I have to mother. If I have to remind you to change your sheets more than every like 3 months, no, I don't want to. If I have to remind you to shower more often than like every 3 days, and you like just don't do it, no, I'm not interested. I don't need an infection. If I have to remind you to brush your teeth or vacuum your house when you have a carpeted floor and a pet, no, I'm not interested. And that has nothing to do with me holding that over you. That has me losing my arousal because you are acting like a child. And I'm not interested in mothering somebody that I'm dating. It's really that simple.
Yes, but I like to think of it more like the husband owns and the wife controls, right? So like think of it like a house. If you own a house, you have to put all of this work into it. You have to buy the house. You have to put just so much into it. If anything happens to the house, you have to take care of that. You are in control of the keeping of the house, right? Whereas the wife is more of what's inside of the house. She controls the day-to-day. She controls what is being fed, what everything is going on, the beautifying of the house. This is what the wife does to the husband. She controls him, where the husband owns. And if you want to have a more balanced basis, you know, there's layers to relationship, but that base of a relationship is the own and the control. It's the lion and the lioness. It's the man and the wife. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's a way of thinking to break it down so that you understand, so that we can be more successful in marriages.
I suppose it's the algorithm, of the platform. But I've been seeing a lot of commentaries in my suggestions box regarding sexless marriage. Women, subverting the marriage contract, I suppose. And I've been seeing it, and I looked at a couple of them, and I watched some Crimson Cure. She's had a multi-part series on this, and a couple of other people that commented on it, and some of the people are making this shit into rocket science. Okay, and I I think I want to throw my hat into the arena because obviously I've said I have 2 children, and I've been married. All right, I'll leave it at that. So I have 2 children. I've been married. So I've had a life experience. I understand about marriage for an extended period of time. I was not married for a brief period of time. I was married for quite a bit of time, and I was with the person for a while before we got married. All right. So, as far as the sexless marriage or whatnot, in the defense of men, all men, being in a sexless marriage isn't something that just happens overnight. It gradually sneaks up on you as you become acclimated to cohabitating with female. Even if you lived with her before you got married or whatnot, it's just different once there's a legal and binding contract and shit, which is why I don't advise anyone to get married today, especially a man, because there's no benefit in it for you. And I would take it even further and say don't even have these kind of discussions with women about, the fairness of marriage. When I never even have that discussion, don't give them an opportunity to gaslight you. There's no conversation to be had about marriage. It's just plain and simple common sense that you get nothing out of it and shit. And I've been an advocate and remain an advocate for the abolition of no-fault divorce. But I'm of the opinion that, the minute you're in an intimate relationship with someone for an extended period of time, and you're married and everything, and sex stops, I think you should get out. All right, I think you should call your female, and you say, hey, we're not having sex, we're not having intimacy. I feel a disconnect. I want to have a conversation with you about that, and see what she says. But if she's gonna, be crap and everything, about it, she's gonna be make a big issue out of it. We can't just sit down and have a discussion about it. I say get the fuck out. Men have forgotten how to be men, okay? And part of being a man is doing what you have to do, keeping balance in your life, your work-life balance. For the longest time, I've been hearing since the late 80s, a happy wife, happy life, and I know that is bullshit, okay? And I would say, like, the minute you're with somebody and they start taking you for granted and things become very generic, it's not a my idea of relationships is that it's a symbiotic relationship, there's the woman and the man are like the yin and yang, they're supposed to fit together like, 2 pieces become a whole or whatnot. And I have yet to have someone adequately refute me on that belief, which is why I'm not an advocate of marriage, because it's not about that. By and large, most of the women these days have been born and bred in hypergamy and shit, the tenets of hypergamy, and they see you as a walking tangible, a utility and shit, a financial utility if nothing else, if not even sexually. A lot of women are going against their own interests, marrying guys they're not into, only to just create, chaos and everything. And that's not including, whether or not if they have children or anything. Now, ultimately, women, besides the bitching about marriage and shit, women make the choice about who they give children to, who they give their body to and shit. That is irrefutable. They make the choice about who they give their body to and whether or not they're going to have kids or not. Any woman with common sense can employ multiple forms of birth control to stop themselves from having a baby they're not sure they want. But rarely do we hear that. We hear some infantilized bullshit about how the guy made her baby's mama and shit. He didn't wear a condom or some shit, like the condom broke. You're supposed to use multiple forms of birth control. You can use those things in tandem and shit. This is not what that's about, though. I think that, because marriage is such a crapshoot, and the house always wins, meaning the government and the female. I think that if you're not having sex, really good sex or passionate sex, and not, man enough to communicate that to the woman in any appreciable way and shit, I think you should cut your losses and just get out. Say, hey, I want someone to be there that wants to be there with me, okay? I don't want a fucking roommate, okay? Okay, I don't want you to start slipping or shit, okay? I'm not going to start sleeping either. We're going to communicate. Most people, they stop talking to each other once they're in these relationships, okay? And they take each other for granted, and they become legal siblings and shit instead of a man and a woman, a husband and a wife. And I think, like, fuck it, In this day and age, there's nothing in it for a guy, okay? You don't need the government. You don't need paperwork to have a kid with somebody. All right? And I think most men should treat relationships like they treat their business. Like they treat that shit like doing income taxes. Make sure you got yourself covered and keep your head on the swivel. Protect your interests and whatnot. Don't second guess yourself. All right? Don't be a backup plan. Don't be her utility and shit. Don't be her living wallet, okay? Do not suffer any bullshit under your roof. And especially do not suffer a dead fucking bed, okay? Now, I don't get it, I remember a while back I was looking at fucking junk woman, Kendra G's channel, and she was talking to this female that was denying her husband sex, but still sleeping in the bed with him, and talking about how they were good friends, but they didn't have sex. But she could really talk to him, and he really understood her. And I thought she was a villain. And I still do to this day. And she didn't look like shit to me. She didn't look like shit. Okay? And she had already brought 2 kids and a mountain of debt into the marriage with this guy. So, yeah, you could call the guy a simp. And I wouldn't advise you to do that here on my fucking channel. I want you to... We're going to go with the female on this channel because she was running a scam. Okay? She's running a emotional Ponzi scheme on him to milk him of his tangibles and live her best life, regardless of the bad decisions she made that got her into the situation where she had to be a non-stated sugar baby for a guy. Now, I think the guy was older. They never showed the guy. If Kendra G was on her due diligence, she should have requested to speak to the husband or found a way to contact the husband some kind of way and ask him what was going on. But that's not her show. Her job is to fix brothers up with these busted females and shit that ain't worth a damn. And I say, look, if because we know about social media and Instagram and all this shit, and how these chicks take like pictures of themselves, like 5 million pictures of their face in close up, and then some damn booty pics and shit, and do little stupid dances, and sometimes they make the guy do a little stupid dance with them and shit. I was like, you give us so much and your dignity to be in these fucking relationships. That's the worst decision we make. You make a Faustian deal to be in these relationships with these females, and you pay for it. They make you pay through the nose and every other orifice and shit. And the least you can do is get some sex, some guilt-free sex, guilt-free. All right. That's a fucking red flag when you got a dead bed and the female's omnipresent in your life, all up in your resources. Like a hydra, it's like a virus. They want to have a joint bank accounts, and then you still give them money in their hand and shit, and the bitch coming up short, on bills, and you supposed to just cover that, and you got to listen to her problems, be an emotional tampon, and she ain't gonna give you no fucking pussy, and you can't get away from her because y'all cohabitating and shit. Everywhere you look, you gonna see her fucking face, and she gonna make you feel guilty for just the most minor thing you want to do by yourself, or even with her. She's not gonna join in. She's not gonna express any motherfucking interest other than, if she does, she has to take it over. She has to invade your mental space. And if you try to seek relief elsewhere, i.e. pornography, that's cheating. Okay? She has the magic pussy, and you're just supposed to use her blocks and shit, but she's got a lid on it. So, tell me, using common sense, what's your next move?